everyone, it's Sharana from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Power Season 6, Episode 1, Murderers. I know that was a little bit much. I'm sorry, y'all. I was just super geek because Power is back. We can talk about Power, you guys, but we got some stuff to talk about because you know what I was waiting on. This is when you really know that the show back, when they come on and be like, they say this is a big rich town. And then I was waiting for that to happen. But then all of a sudden, I was hearing something new. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I don't think that's what I was expecting to hear. What happened to Joe? Okay, I don't have no issues with Trey Songz, y'all. Okay, I wish him nothing but the best in the world. But I wasn't trying to hear him sing on this song. They talked about Season 6 as the final betrayal. Let me tell you what the final betrayal was. Trying to switch up that song like we weren't going to have nothing to say about it. Because I was pissed. I was livid. I'm still upset. What were you guys thinking? Why now? Why do you wait till the last season? Somebody needs to get 50 on the line and tell him you need to have this back to normal by next week because I'm not having it. I don't know what happened between you and Joe. I don't know if he owes you some money, but let's work this out. If we need to do a GoFundMe to get some coins to the right people, I just want to hear my song again, okay? I don't understand why we had to make these changes. I don't know who okayed this mess in the first place, but we got to talk about it. It was really upsetting. It really like messed up my vibe going into the Season 6 premiere, and I just needed to vent a little bit. I don't know if anyone else had the same issue. Maybe some of you guys are okay with the song. That's fine. That is your opinion. But for me, in my opinion, it got to go. I don't want to hear that mess. I want to hear the original song that I've been listening to for the past 5 seasons. And for my last season, I want to hear the regular song going forward because that ain't it. I had to fast forward through the song. I listened to it once just to give it the benefit of the doubt, and now I'm just like, we're gonna have to fast forward this every single week going forward. But so let's get into my thoughts on this episode. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I appreciate you guys. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So I do a recap of the episode while giving my review in the midst of all of it, giving my commentary on how I felt about certain things that the characters did. So let's go ahead and start with Jamie. Okay, I'm gonna have to kind of intertwine the different characters because a lot happened that connects everyone together. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to get a little groove for what I'm gonna do for this season. So the scene opens up where we left off. We know that the end of Season 5, that as Angela was telling Jamie, I want to be with you. I'm going to go to jail because I'm going to protect you. I'm not going to testify against you. We see that as they having a little smooch session, that Angela looks up, she sees Tommy, she pushes Jamie out of the way, and Tommy ends up shooting Angela in the chest instead of Jamie. So when this happened, I was just like, I mean, of course, like, Angela's going to be alive. Like, she was doing all the promo. You know, she was in the, like, premiere, like, the little Season 6 trailer, the teaser trailers that they had come out. I feel like something's in my eye, y'all. So I thought she was going to be okay. So Jamie rushes her to the hospital. You know, I'm just like, okay, they're going to go through this whole dramatics, but we know that Angela is going to be fine. But y'all, they actually killed Angela. Now, for those of you who are new, you haven't seen my previous Power reviews, y'all know I can't stand Angela with all my heart and soul, but that don't mean that I wanted the girl to die. Actually, in Season 5, I did wish that she died a couple of times, and not even go last Sunday, y'all. But I didn't think that they had the guts to kill her, especially in the season premiere. I just thought that maybe she was gonna be alive. Tommy and Ghost was gonna go back and forth with one another, but like, she really gone, y'all. Like, for reals. I was really shocked by that. So we see that immediately the police are interviewing Jamie. They're trying to ask him, like, what happened? Like, do you know who shot her? You know, you guys were so close together. That's why you have all the blood on you. You had to have seen something. And so he said, I don't know who killed her. He basically ends up lying to them and says that he has absolutely no idea who Angela's murderer is. But we all know that he knows that it's Tommy because he saw him when he looked up. So basically, he wants to keep Tommy for himself. He wants to seek vengeance on his own. So we're going to pause on him for a little bit because I do need to go into Tommy, who immediately ends up talking to Tasha, and he tells Tasha what happened. And so he asks Tasha, like, can I have an alibi? And so she's like, heck no, you can't have no alibi. Are you serious? Do you even know if Angela's dead? If she's alive, then she's going to tell on all of us, and we're all going to be in jail. So now you need to figure this out with Ghost because neither one of y'all need to be dead right now. And so he tells her what happened and why he felt betrayed by Ghost. He tells him about how he basically orchestrated this whole thing for Tommy to end up killing his dad, because he claimed that his dad was snitching on all of them to the feds, when in fact he was only snitching on about Jamie to the feds. And so once Tommy found out about this, that's why he went into this whole plot. And so now we have to figure out like what is going to happen at this point, because Tasha doesn't want to see Tommy dead, and then Tasha doesn't want to see Ghost dead for right now, because she needs to figure out what the hell happened to Terry. So it's just a lot going on. So Tommy goes to talk to Keisha. He calls her and tells her like, hey, I need you. He goes to see her and says, hey, I need you to put this gun in the river. So she's thinking that the gun killed Ghost, but the gun actually killed Angela, but she doesn't know it yet. And so I thought it was weird that Keisha kept holding on to this gun, because we see her son. I was like, did we ever see her son Cash before? Like, I knew she had a kid, but I don't remember ever seeing him in the previous episodes. I could be wrong. And so we see that her son is trying to go into her purse, and then she starts screaming at him. He like, girl, why you bugging? And then we realize the gun is still in her purse. She still has not disposed of the gun, even after Tommy asked her to do so. So the whole time I'm just like, is she going to do it? Is she not going to do it? But we see towards the end of the episode that she does end up, in fact, looking very suspicious. Okay, I was like, girl, why she looking back? Like, I was like, girl, just throw the damn gun in the river. Like, what are you doing? Why you always gotta be extra everything that you do? But she ends up actually getting rid of the gun. So in the meantime, for Tommy, we're going to stick with him for this. So after that, Tommy goes home. And so then he knows that Ghost is probably waiting for him at his place. And he actually is. They end up getting into a tussle. They end up fighting one another, going back and forth. And before they can kill one another, Tariq walks in. And then they stop, because he's like, what is going on? And then Jamie's like, you supposed to be in school. I'm like, sir, I think him being in school is the last of your worries right now. But Tariq looking like, can I talk to Uncle Tommy? He was like, he ain't part of the family no more. And I was like, sir, who are you? Stop it. So Tariq was like, I need to talk to Tommy. And so Jamie ends up leaving. He was like, you got 10 minutes. And I was just like, sir, why are we still trying to discipline Tariq? Clearly he's beyond the control of discipline at this point. And so he asked Tommy, like, what is going on? What is happening? And so we see that Tariq asks him like, hey, can you do something with me? And then in the midst of the conversation that him and Tariq is having, the Tommy actually gets a text from Jason. So he says that he needs to take care of something real quick, but he'll be back to, handle whatever he wants to do with him. So we see that he meets with Jason, who is his connect, and basically he brings him a check. He's like, hey, I'm ready to move product again. And so he asks him like, is your beef with Ghost done? And he was like, yeah, everything's fine and dandy. We squashed it out being a bigger man. And I was like, sir, why are you lying to Jason? You know Jason is crazy. He's tried to kill you a plethora of times. But you can tell that Jason doesn't really trust him, because he says like, hey, I'm not going to give you your product right now. Let's make sure that this check clears. But what you need to worry about is making sure that the Jimenez is dead. And he was like, but she's in jail. And he was like, I don't care. Dispose of her. Figure it out. But she needs to be dead. I don't have time. You need to clear up all of these loose ends. So he tells him, I will see you tonight once the check clears, and make sure everything is okay, and then you'll get your product. So we see that Tommy goes to talk to the people who's running the drugs for him, and then they start clowning him over his eye. And I was just like, y'all leave Tommy alone, because he crazy, and he probably gonna flip at any moment. But it was funny to watch him get on him. And so he basically tells him like, hey, I don't have the product for you guys right now. I have it later on tonight. Had ran into some issues, and then Pancho was like, I'm tired of you and your issues. He was like, you ain't ish without Ghost. And I was like, ooh, you shouldn't have said that. And then, of course, he shouldn't have said that, because Tommy ends up shooting Pancho, like, in the head. Everybody like, sir, was this necessary? You got blood all on the boxes and stuff. Like, just try to be tidy about these things. And so then the other dude tried to jump stupid, and Tommy was like, what? Do you want to end up like him? Or no, or you with me, or you with him? And so basically, of course, he chooses to be with him. And then he tells all of them, like, guys, get it together. I'm gonna get you your product, so just chill out. And then he tells them like, you need to basically take care of this mess right here, and you need to figure out what you're gonna tell your people about what happened to him, but make sure that you keep my name out of your mouth. So we see that he ends up meeting up with Tariq. And so the thing that Tariq wanted him to do is he wanted to, he picked up Kanan's ashes. And so we know that Kanan died in the finale of last season. And so he cares for Kanan, and he wants to, give him a proper sentence sent off, and he said he never wanted to be caged up again. And so they cremated his body, and so he wants to spread his ashes. But why did Tommy start playing Crossroads though? I was like, Tommy, can we be sympathetic? I guess he felt like he needed to set the mood. And then Tariq paused it like, sir, are you being serious right now? And so he tries to spread his ashes, but then Tommy grabs the ashes, put it on his blunt, and smokes it. And he was like, what? They did it for Tupac. And I was like, well, I guess if they did it for Tupac, I mean, go ahead and pay him a proper tribute. But while they're doing this, he basically asked him, like, why were you fighting with ghosts? And then, you know, he was like, it's kind of cryptic about it at first. And then Tariq was like, what that backstabbing dude, that ain't what he really said, but you know what he said, I'm trying not to get demonetized. But he said, you know, what did he do? And then he tells him what happened in regards to his father and stuff like that. And so he said that he feels as though, you know, when Tommy told him in the previous season, like, you're just like ghosts. And so he says he's been thinking about that, and he feels that he is like his dad because he turned on Kanan to protect his family. And so he felt as though he portrayed one of the only friends that he really had who understood him in order to make sure that his family was okay. So he felt like he was putting his needs before Kanan, and that ultimately led to his death. And so he basically asked him, like, how would you feel if something were to happen to your dad? And he was like, I don't really know. And so I guess that kind of gives him the hint that Tommy is probably going to try to kill Ghost. But Tariq seems very conflicted because he's not getting along with his dad. He doesn't really like his dad. So we don't necessarily know how any of that is going to play out. But one of the things that I did find touching, I can't believe I'm going to say that Tariq touched me because, you know, touched my soul because, you know, Tariq bothers me as well. But I did think it was nice that when he called Jamie at the end of the episode, and when he was just like, you know, I just wanted to check on you because, you know, my mom told me what happened with Angela. And, you know, he was just like, I know how it felt to be the only person that cares for somebody that's gone. And that's him talking about everyone was happy that Kanan was dead, but he still had an attachment. He looked up to Kanan. Kanan looked out for him. And he was like, I know how that feels. And so I just want to tell you I'm sorry. And, you know, I hope that you're okay. And so I was like, look at him being so nice. But I didn't understand why he did all of that in front of his little nosy roommate. He said he was trying to play nice because he's like, why are you being nice to your dad that you didn't like him? So I don't know, like, if he just had a moment where he just wanted to be the adult in the situation and be there for his father, which shows that he still has some type of feelings for his dad. So I don't know how he would necessarily feel with everything that's happening between him and Tommy. But we're going to pause there for now. And then we'll come back to wrap up what happened with Tommy's character. But in the meantime, we do need to talk about Jamie because Jamie has a lot of interactions with a lot of these characters in the episode. So I do want to talk about him for a moment. So we see that he's at the hospital after he is questioned by the police and he lies to them. And we see that Paz, Angela's sister, comes in and he's trying to talk to her. And she was like, you murderer, which is reminiscent to the title of this week's episode, Murderers. And she was like, you killed her. I know you killed her. And she's like breaking down, causing a scene in the hospital. And so he basically says that he goes to talk to Proctor, and Proctor asks him, like, who killed Angela? And he was like, he tells him Tommy killed Angela. And he was like, okay, well, we need to give his name to the feds because, like, this is not going well. We already saw that Sax went to go visit Proctor and basically accuse him of Angela's death as well. But he tells him, like, I'm not putting Tommy behind jail. I'm going to put him in this grave. I am going to be the one to handle it. But he tells him, in the meantime, you need to go talk to the feds. You need to give them your statement while you're still a free man, because of course we know that they're trying to put this on them. And so in the midst of all of this, Sax is very angry at everything that has happened. You know, it's still to their understanding that Angela was going to flip and turn on Jamie and basically be their witness to tie everyone, Tasha, Tommy, and Jamie, to this RICO case that they've been working for the past few seasons. And so there's no evidence to prove what has happened, but Sax is all angry and he's talking to his boss, Tamika, and she was like, we all, like, have a part in this. Like, I have a part, you have a part, Donovan has a part, we all have a part. Because he tried to put it on Donovan. Dad was like, hold up, wait a minute, like, you're not about to put this on me, sir. And I was like, so in these past 2 seasons, y'all still didn't want to find Tamika a good wig, but I guess they didn't have to find her a good wig for the episode because she got fired. She had to be the scapegoat for everything that happened. So we see that Sax goes to talk to Paz as she's sitting with Angela's dead body. And so he asks her, like, we need to do an autopsy because we need to, you know, get evidence that can link, you know, her death to Jamie, because in their minds, all of this deals with Jamie, which it does, but he is not the one who actually killed her. And so she basically says, like, sir, I heard about you. My sister told me about you. She said you want ish, okay? So you sit up here trying to cry these crocodile tears like you care. And I was like, yeah, like all of y'all was trying to put Angela behind bars last season. Now all of y'all upset. You guys are sad that she's dead. Like, I just felt like that was so fake. Y'all don't care. You're just mad that this messed up your case. But y'all was ready to like saying, y'all didn't try to get rid of Angela a couple of times, okay? So I just found this whole thing that now all of a sudden everyone's so hurt, they so sad, we gonna find Angela's killer. Y'all stop it. Y'all know y'all don't care nothing about that girl. Just be honest about that. You just want to prove that your case is right. You want to keep your case going so you can put Jamie in jail. So we see that he goes to talk to the new Eastern District DA, district attorney, who is Jacob, which I was like, hey, this old dude from Sex and the City, like Charlotte's husband. Sorry, that's just a little side note for those of y'all who watch Sex and the City. I was like, look at him, I see you. So he plays Jacob, and so he's basically about to fire Sax, and Sax is like, no, hold up, wait a minute. I can prove all of this. I can prove conspiracy for her death, and then I can take down everyone. I can take down Proctor, Tommy, Tasha, and Jamie. Just like give me time to like prove this case. And so he basically says like, hey, whatever you want to do, because you gonna get fired regardless. So you can go ahead and prove this, and when it blows up and smoke in your face, I can still fire you. It really doesn't matter either way because you're about to lose your job. So we see that he's trying to tie all of these people together. And so they're trying to really zone in on Proctor. They think that Proctor is the easiest one to infiltrate because Proctor could end up dead too. And Proctor's life has been threatened way too many times by both Ghost and Tommy. So it seems like the logical thing to do, but they've tried this before. They tried to scare Proctor, they disbarred him. They tried all these things and it never worked. But we know that there's going to be, he has to make a decision on what he's going to do. Once again, Jamie does not want to cooperate. He doesn't want to tell them who killed Angela to really clear his name. So Proctor is put in a really sticky situation. And so we see that Jamie goes to talk to the DA, and then he's basically telling like, I did not kill Angela. Like, I loved Angela. I would never do anything to hurt her. And they're like, so how do we go from y'all happy-go-lucky in the morning to her being dead? Why were you at the school? What were you guys talking about? And he tells them like, she was telling me that she was going to go to jail and she wasn't going to flip on me, that she was going to protect me. And they were just like, no, that is a lie. She wouldn't do that. I'm just like, obviously y'all don't know Angela. Y'all were just gunning for her. Like, in their minds, they want to pin this on Jamie so bad that they just like ignore just all logic behind this. Why would Jamie be the one to want to kill her? And so basically, he tells them like, hey, she was loyal to the end. And then they ask like, well, who killed her then? And then Proctor seemed like he was about to say something like, well, y'all need to be looking into other people if it wasn't him. And then Jamie, like, basically he stopped him from doing whatever the heck he was about to do. So we see that Ghost leaves and he goes to try to kill Tommy again. But when he comes back, he sees that Tommy is actually getting out of the car, and then Tariq gets out of the car. And so then Jamie decides to leave. So in the meantime, Jacob shows up to Proctor's child's like dance recital. And I was like, look at old girl. He was like trying to pay her $20 to go play with her little friends until he could finish talking to him. And she was like, I need a little bit more. And she squeezed a whole $100 bill. I was like, look at you, girl. I see you learn well from your dad. And so basically he's trying to get Proctor to tell them who killed Angela. I know you know. And if they kill Angela, you know that they're going to kill you. Like, they're not going to have any issues with doing this at all. And so he's trying to like get him to flip, but he tells him no. And he was just like, look, that's your funeral regardless. So you go ahead and keep protecting Jamie. I don't don't know what's wrong with you. Now, after all of this, Jamie tries to go back and talk to Paz again. I was just like, sir, can you just give her 24 hours? Can you give her a week? Just let her breathe. She's leaving Angela's apartment. He tries to talk to her, and she was just like, look, I don't want nothing to do with you. You are the reason that my sister is dead. Like, just leave me alone. And then he tries to say, like, let me pay for the funeral. And she was like, sir, I don't want you to pay for nothing, okay? She was like, I'll get in the grave next to her before I let you pay for anything. And the next time that I see you, you're going to be in handcuffs. And so we see that after that, she leaves and she goes to the morgue and she meets with Sax, and she basically signs off on the autopsy. And he basically says, like, I'm going to find her killer. And she's like, you better. So while he's there, he's talking to Angela like, I'm gonna find your murderer. And I'm just like, sir, leave Angela alone. Like, you ain't itch. And I'm sure she probably rolling over. Well, she can't really roll over in her grave right now, but she just like, I don't like you. Get away from me. Don't be trying to talk to me. And then we see the sergeant, because she made sure to tell Jacob, Sergeant Rodriguez basically goes to, tell him that she's working the case. She asks Jacob to start a task force because they can't trust everyone in the district attorney's office, because their leak is the reason that Angela is dead at this point. So they're going to be working together, it seems, for the course of this season to try to figure out who is Angela's killer. How can they tie all of these people into their RICO case so they can finally put everyone behind bars. So yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I got everybody together. I'm gonna go back to the rest of everything that happened. But before we wrap all of that up, we got to talk about Tasha. So Terry, Tasha's little boo thing, who she just, for some reason, she thought that she was going to run away with. She hasn't been able to find them. She goes to the job to try to figure out what happened. They said the family found a missing persons report. We haven't heard from him. She pretty much suspects that Jamie, Ghost, whatever you want to call him, he's the reason that he's disappeared. She thinks that he's killed him, and she wants to get her own revenge. And so Tasha goes to talk to Jamie because Jamie wanted to talk to her, and then he told her what happened, and then she was like, what did you expect was going to happen? Like, well, why did you think that Tommy was going to have this like logical reaction to you having him kill his father once he found out? And so he was like, the woman I love is dead. And I was like, sir, did you really just say that to her? And then she was like, what about the man that I love? Where is Terry, Jamie? Where is Terry? He's like, I don't know. He lying. So she ends up telling him at the end, like, hey, I'm not helping you with anything. And by the way, I want a divorce. And so she ends up picking Tariq up. And I think they have a good conversation. And I think it's important that she does tell Tariq, even though I didn't like Angela, I didn't want her dead. And she's the reason that we're like here right now. She protected us. Like, she risked her life to protect us. That's why you aren't in jail for what you did. And I need you to understand that, because he was just like, I don't like that B Angela. I was like, Tariq, I don't like her either, but she did help you, and I do appreciate that your mother is trying to tell you that she did do some good before her untimely death. So she ends up meeting with her mother, and so her mama really sitting up here trying to tell her, like, well, maybe, since Angela did, y'all can get back together. And she's like, ma'am, are you serious? And I just like, yeah, ma'am, really? Like, what are you doing? And she was just like, Tasha, you don't have no plan. She's like, Terry was my plan. And she was like, what did you expect that he was going to do? Like, and I think that this theme is so important, because when all of these people kind of explain, like try to justify their actions of what they've done, the answer that everyone has, what did you expect? Like, you were putting your own thoughts and feelings into these decisions that you've made that led to deaths of multiple people. What did you guys expect that these were actions, or what these repercussions were going to be? And so I just found that whole conversation, I was just like, girl, you ain't got no plan. You don't know what you finna do. Like, how are you about to go through this whole divorce? But I do understand where Tasha's coming from. Like, I mean, it's been more than enough time that they needed to get divorced. They need to break away. I don't know what's going to happen between them. I don't know this whole plot of how Tasha is going to end up getting like Jamie back. Is she going to kill him? I don't know. But I just feel like everybody needs to take a step back, breathe, sit, and just think about this. But clearly that does not happen, because we see that Tommy ends up going to meet with Jason that night. And so basically something seems off. I know Jason looking at them like, I did not trust him. He gave him this weird hug. And so he was just like, okay, so everything cool with Ghost. I'm gonna ask you one more time. And he was like, yeah, everything's good. And then he was like, tell him I had to kill old dude because you was taking too long giving me my product. And so he was like, hey, like, keep telling his Jason was telling one of his people, like, you know, do what I told you to do. And I was like, Lord, they finna kill Tommy. But instead, he has the guy pull up Tommy's car. And then we see that Ghost is outside waiting. And he sees the car. And he basically shoots the car and whoever's driving the car dead to prove Jason's point that, hey, I knew that this beef wasn't resolved between you two. And Tommy looked like, oh my God, what happened? And I was like, sir. And he was like, that's why you hugged me. Gave me that weird, creepy hug. You took my keys. And he was like, hey, you need to figure this out with Ghost. But like, until then, we ain't got nothing to talk about right now. You got to figure this stuff out because this is out of hand. And this is just giving me a headache. So figure it out. So we see that Jamie thinks that Tommy is dead at this point. He goes back to Angela's house and he reminisces and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I get it. He's supposed to be in mourning. But I did like the song that's playing. It's a song by Miguel called RAN. And, you know, I love how it talks about, like, you deserve better, like, you didn't know better. And kind of this whole theme of because Jamie and Angela being so selfish and wanted to be together, like, you know, Jamie being selfish and wanted to be with Angela and thinking that he could have it all, it's led to her death. And, you know, Tariq says it like, if this whole thing with Jamie and Angela would have never happened, we wouldn't even be in this entire predicament. And, you know, Jamie sits and really thinks about that and realizes, like, you know, I am one of the reasons why Angela is dead at this point. And so we see that Tommy ends up going back to Keisha's house. Ugh, him and Keisha bother me so much. I cannot stand their relationship. Love Lala, love Justice Court. I just do not like those two together. And so she asked him, did you kill Ghost? And he tells about Angela and what happened. And he was like, I need to get you and Cash out of here. She was like, I'ma stay. I said, you know what? Girl, stop it. You got a son to worry about. Don't try to be like a good woman to ride or die right now. She's like, I'ma stay and help you. And then I was just like, girl, why? Why are you subjecting yourself to this? But whatever. That whole thing just really it really bugs me. But yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of the entire episode. But I think that it was a great start to the season 6 premiere. I'm still really shocked that they killed Angela. I was not expecting them to do that whatsoever. I just thought that whole thing was just so crazy. I can't believe they actually stuck to what they did and actually had Angela dead. I was waiting for her body to start twitching in the morgue when Sax was looking at her because I was just like, I can't believe they actually did this. But I guess it's the last season, so it's like everybody could die at this point. But I do like the significance of the title of this season 6 premiere being called Murderers, because everyone that we've seen, they're murderers. Tariq has killed someone, you know, Angela, Tasha, Tommy, Jamie, even Sax and them, they've led to the death, like their arrogance, especially Sax's arrogance, has led to the death of so many people, you know, and that's why Donovan says this is very personal for him because he's lost so many people. And so I think that this title was so fitting. It was a great way to start the season. I can't wait to see how all of this plays out. I love how Jason tells Tommy, like, hey, are you going to stay and deal with this? Or are you going to run away, or are you going to fight? Because we know before when we saw Tommy and Jamie going after each other, they both kind of didn't want to kill each other. Like they was trying to, but then they didn't want trying to. But Jamie was about that life. He went to full Ghost about that life, and Tommy knows what he has to do, and he has to go an all-out war. But yeah, like I enjoyed this season 6 premiere, minus the theme song. Y'all need to go ahead and change that. If I need to get a petition started, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to do so, because I ain't talked to not one person that was okay with this theme song change. It wasn't okay. It wasn't it. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on Power season 6 episode 1, Murderers. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.